Okay, so what's going to happen today? So here's our event agenda. So I will be briefly talking about the highlights from the current campaigns that we've had this year. Then I'll be passing over to Programme Manager Andy Fanning from the EPA. Then we will hear from our students. This is what it's all about. We're going to find out the students their own air quality stories from their schools. Then I'll be delighted to pass it over to Áine O'Loughlin, who will talk about active travel at schools. She's from the Green Schools Travel Programme. Then we will hear from Natalie Gravett, who works for ARUP, and she'll speak about transport and air quality. And then finally, we'll have some closing remarks and we'll hear from Tony Murphy, who is the Globe Implementation Office Director. So very exciting agenda ahead. So I know most of you are aware of this already, but the Globe Air Quality Campaign focuses on nitrogen dioxide, which is a traffic-related pollutant. So each school that takes part receives 3 diffusion tubes to measure nitrogen dioxide around their school. So this is real school-based citizen science at work here. So why are we doing this? This is our 7th campaign. So what's the purpose? We want to raise awareness of air pollution, not just traffic-related pollution, but just air pollution in general. We also want the students to have an opportunity to engage in meaningful citizen science. So the whole purpose here kind of fits in with the Globe ethos around collecting measurements that have meaning behind them and they can be potentially used to change behavior. This whole program in Ireland, the Globe program in Ireland, is supported by the Environmental Protection Agency, and we're delighted to have their support. Okay, so as I said, this is our 7th campaign. We've seen growing numbers from the very beginning. So we had just about 25 schools take part in our very first campaign. And in our current campaign, we had over 150 schools. So this is a big thank you to you, the teachers. It's great to see this growing interest in citizen science at schools. And it was fantastic to see so many teachers register during this current academic year. But also this program wouldn't be run the way it is if it wasn't for our partnerships. So I mentioned that we're sponsored by the EPA, but we also work closely with the EPA. And I'd just really like to do a special thanks to Leo for his kindness and assistance along the way. Also, Green Schools Travel have been great in terms of recruitment. And of course, Trinity College Dublin. We worked with a scientist there, Kamila Kwasniewska. It really added depth to this program. We were able to work on lichen as bioindicators of pollution. And this was a fantastic project. And now we'll actually have an exhibition next year in the National Botanical Gardens on the basis of this. So well done, everyone. Okay, so our current campaign. We just got the results from our 7th campaign, and we had our 6th campaign in October. So there's people here that have taken part in both of these campaigns, I believe. So you're seeing, looking at the map, you can see each school that registered is represented by a dot on the map. And you can see the color of the dots represent the level of NO2 observed. So have a quick look at this map and see what you can identify. You see that the colors yellow and orange are more likely to be in the urban areas. So the question is why? And this is to do with traffic. So we see a growing level of nitrogen dioxide in heavily trafficked areas. Also, we receive lots of great projects from schools. So we receive excellent posters, project reports, and this year we want to say a big thank you and congratulations to Roscommon Community College for their excellent project that they submitted, and they will be have been awarded a Davis Weather Station for their school. Okay, so this year we were so delighted to work with Globe Malta. We had great interest in collaboration both internationally and nationally, and Globe Malta and Globe Ireland did an absolutely fantastic job working on their projects. They had Zoom meetings together, they shared videos, they shared emails, and there was a great collaboration. And on the basis of this, they wrote a report for the IVSS Symposium, which is the Globe International Virtual Science Symposium. And they received 4 stars and plenty of badges to celebrate their great achievement there. So well done, Globe Malta schools and Globe Ireland schools that took part in this. But we also have seen Globe France are involved with Globe schools this year from Ireland, and we're sure that great things are to come from that too. I think this represents, not just the growing interest in citizen science at schools, but also that interest in collaboration. And we'd like to work more on that in future trying to foster that collaborative experience in schools. So this is really the crux of the matter. Our campaigns are really focused on citizen science and education, but what we'd love to see is, all this engagement and action. So we're trying to turn this around into behavior change. Now, we can't do that. It's the teachers and students that do this. So we would like to send a big, big thank you to all the students that were involved in the campaigns, but not just their participation, but the work that they've done in the school community around raising awareness. We know that there's people that have set up anti-idling campaigns, they've prepared posters at schools, they've informed their parents and their local community. And this is really the essence of turning those scientific measurements that they've gathered, communicating them back to their local community and here today, and then also acting on the results. So this is like the full circle of the scientific investigation, and is really, at the core of what GLOBE stands for. So we're just delighted that the schools that, engage with us during the year were really able to do this, and just congratulations to them all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass things over to Andy Fanning from the EPA. He's a program manager there. Unfortunately, Laura couldn't make it today, so Andy is filling in for Laura. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Áine, and thank you all for having me in here today. I started in the job in here as a program manager. Well, I've been a program manager for a long number of years, but last year I moved into this area which covers citizen science. And one of my first things, people said, oh, you must come to the Globe Ireland event last year. And I came here and I was amazed at the presentations from the schools and the engagement and the actions that schools were taking as a consequence of what they'd done. So I'm delighted to be back today, to listen to your stories, to hear what hear about what you've done. And again, I'm fully sure that I will be highly impressed. EPA is delighted to support An Taisce's environmental education unit in delivering on this work, especially around air quality monitoring, which is very close to the hearts of the EPA. As you'll understand, for ourselves, air quality is something that we will always be challenging people to reduce wherever possible. And in that context, looking at GLOBE and the success that you've achieved so far, just the growth in the number of schools participating and schools coming back and participating a second and third time, it's fantastic to see that level of engagement. It's amazing to see that every county in Ireland is now represented within this project, and it's a great testament to yourselves and to your teachers and to your wider school communities that you've really engaged. So we are beyond delighted with the work that's been going on. In the last 12 months for the EPA, we've been looking, and we've actually engaged in the second citizen science project with An Taisce, which is the Clean Air Together project, and we asked people in Dublin to participate with ourselves to do the same thing as you've done, which is measure NO2 outside of their homes and their businesses in Dublin. And we were delighted that over 2,000 people wanted to participate. 2,000 we couldn't facilitate, but we were able to take in over 1,000 citizen scientists who went and did measurements in October and November last year to produce a map of the NO2 concentrations in Dublin during October and November of last year. And I suppose it was a great project and we learned a lot from it, and we're using the data now to inform how we model and assess air quality in Dublin. But we built it on the back of GLOBE, because GLOBE has shown us how citizen science can be done. And it's great to see not only the school community, but opening out into the wider community and be participating in this. So we think it was a fantastic success, and we compliment An Taisce for running that project and engaging with ourselves on it. I do also have an advertisement to do here. We are moving from Cork City, from Dublin City to Cork City with the Clean Air Together project this year. So for the schools in Cork, again, talk to your school authorities, but also talk to your families and to people that you know out there and say, look, there's a great opportunity for you to help us to map what the air quality is like in Cork City in the year ahead. So please, folks, once we start recruiting, and we'll probably start recruiting in August, please do participate and engage with ourselves in that. And to those of you who actually were involved this year in the Clean Air Together Dublin, our thanks. It was great, a fantastic success. And again, the data is being used substantially by EPA and Dublin City Council to inform its work. As Áine said, the data is valuable. It's great that we have clarity, we have information that tells us what is the air quality near your schools. But it's not only about that. It's about, first of all, you gaining an awareness and a knowledge and a scientific knowledge around air pollution. And then being able to tell other people, and you can tell your families, tell to people that you hang around with, this is what the air quality is like where I am, and here's things that we can do about it. So it is, as Áine said, it's about moving from the knowledge that you gain to engagement and action, so that we actually can reduce the air pollution that we all live with. It's a great thing to do. For EPA, we've done research to see how many people think air pollution is an issue. And 4 out of 5 people recognize that air pollution is a serious environmental issue and is also a public health issue, and it's going to affect our health. But that means there's 1 person out of every 5 who doesn't actually know this yet. So here's your opportunity again to inform, educate the people around you. So next time the EPA checks to see how many people know about air pollution and consider it an issue, that number will go from 4 people out of 5 to 5 people out of 5. Hopefully we'll get to that stage fairly soon. I suppose one thing we've seen in Ireland is that young people are really who are going to change the world. It's not the old people like myself with the bald head. It'll be people like yourselves that will do it. So your engagement in this project, and then we've seen a lot of young people getting engaged in climate change, but there's always the other environmental issues that we need to address, whether it be air quality, water quality, the noise environment in which we live. So there's great opportunities for you as young citizen scientists to engage here and to make sure that your voices are heard as we address all of the myriad of challenges that our environment is under pressure from. So that's where we hope that your citizen engagement activity will go. From an EPA perspective, we're now looking at what the EPA can do, and just to telegraph back out to yourself, EPA will be creating a new citizen science strategy for the organization, seeing where we can add value, supporting others to do it, maybe running some campaigns ourselves, and linking up people who do citizen science into the future. So within 2022, we're going to be working on that strategy and trying to get our plans together. So when we hit 2023, EPA can be even better at engaging with young citizen scientists and older citizen scientists and anybody else who wants to participate in this space. So as the months ahead roll through, please watch out for opportunities to engage with ourselves on it. And that idea has actually come from the work that we've done with Globe and with Antashka over the last number of years. We've seen its substantial success, and we really want to continue that, grow it, so that we address all of the challenges that are out there for ourselves to hit. I really want to listen to you rather than you listen to me. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say. But before I do so, I have a couple of thank yous to do. I really want to thank Áine, Maya, and Sabrina in the education unit, who have run both Clean Air Together and the Globe programme so brilliantly over the last year. And my congratulations to you all on that. I don't know if he's on the call, but Michael John O'Mahony, who is a friend of mine and I've known him for many years, has been working with the education unit. So if he's on the line, our congratulations to you. I hear you're moving on, and best wishes for your future in that space. And the final thank you I suppose I have to make is to ye, the students, the teachers, and everybody who's helped you to do the work that you've done. Globe can't be a success without ye. Ye, the citizen scientists, are the center of this thing. You are the ones who will move the world as we move forward. So I would look forward to, within the EPA, to working with yourselves into the future. And as you become other scientists, you never know, you might be sitting in my chair in a while, talking to other people, telling them, this is what we have to do to save our environment. So from me and from the EPA, our thanks for all of the hard work you've done. And I'm really, really looking forward to hearing the presentations that you present to us today. I did forget to say, welcome the international colleagues. It's great to see it spreading beyond the borders of Ireland out into the wider world. And you're all very welcome today, and delighted to be here with you all. So back to yourself, Áine.
Thank you, Andy. That was some great encouraging words, and delighted to hear the EPA is looking forward to some more future work with the Globe programme, and we're delighted to continue working with you on that. Okay, so we are all here, to listen to the students and their own air quality stories. I'd like to kick things off by passing it over to St. Michael's School from Malta, which we're very excited about. We have teacher Joseph Savona here, and his student is Matthew, and they'll be presenting an investigative study on air quality from around their school. So we'll just see about sharing screens here. Now, Matthew, have you got your presentation to share? There you go.
It's okay, are you saying like this?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
see it just fine. Thank you.
So I'm Matthew Samuel from St. Michael's School in Malta, and we carried out an investigation on air quality around the school. The study aims to analyze the air quality around our school over around 700 hours, which is about 29 days, to measure the amount of nitrogen dioxide gas into different areas around our school. The study was carried out to synthesize the social community of the school of Saint Santa Venera locality, and about the air breathed by a population of 400 people for 35 hours a week for a span of 36 weeks per year. The nitrogen levels were compared with 3 other schools, 1 in Gozo and 2 in Ireland. So this is a picture of the school. If I don't know if you can you see the mouse, please? Or
Yes, we can.
so this is the main road. It is a very busy road. And over here, there's a petrol station that also affected the results. Over here, there is another road, but it isn't as busy as the main road. And over here, there is an industrial area. And in the top left corner, there's a valley that is 46 meters elevated than sea level. Now, this is how the school is orientated. It's about north-northeast. And over here, there is the petrol station that also affected the results greatly, main road. So these are where the number 1 was where the tube in the balcony was placed. The number 2 is where the entrance of the underground parking. And the number 3 is in the front of the school outside the road. And the number 4 is where the readings were taking place on the top of the school roof. The readings were of the air, the wind, the clouds, and the normal readings. The apparatus that we used were the data loggers that measured the air temperature, the humidity, the air pressure, and the sound level, a rain gauge, the globe observer app to record the cloud types and cover, so we could send them to the globe, the three diffusion tubes, and the stopwatch to carry out the car count. The car count that was carried at around 7 a.m. and around noon in front of the school gates. So in the first picture, I was attaching the tube near the school ground, and in the second picture, there is the tube being attached in front of the school in the very polluted road. Now in this next picture, I am taking photos of the clouds. In the second, me and my friend Jerome are taking note of the car count. And in the third, Ben and Mark are measuring if trees act as sound barriers in front of the school. And yes, they acted as sound barriers. These are the tables of the results that were recorded. Over here, the first column is of the time, the clouds, the temperature, the pressure, and the humidity. These are more results. And here are the results of the car count. And the first day, there was a lot of cars, obviously, and there was a standstill as well. The car count was around 5 minutes long. These are the results of the nitrogen dioxide. And it was also noted that in Malta, there is a higher concentration of nitrogen dioxide gas outside the school road than in the main entrance of the Gozo school. Our amount of nitrogen dioxide gas outside the roadside was 37.06. Unlike the one in Gozo that was only 19.02. The interpretation of our results were that nitrogen dioxide levels is highest between the schools' participation because the school area is between two industrial areas and in parallel to the main road. The wind also was mostly in southeast, northeast, and east, which is the side where the petrol station fumes of the fuel will mostly come to the side of the school. Even the exhaust of the cars passing parallel with the school. The results were compared with a similar project that was carried out 12 years ago. That was found out that the nitrogen dioxide gas levels increased by 13%. This was also contributed to an increase of population of 7% during the last couple of years. In conclusion, the following study was committed to do our part in reducing the levels of NO2 gas within the school area. And to this, the students have proposed the following actions with the head of school. So firstly, encourage carpooling between students and teachers or other workmates to turn off car engines when dropping off students at school and to plant more trees around the school perimeter. On a national scale, a number of measures that could have been taken were to design the local roads to improve traffic flow and reduce idling traffic, to create a park and ride service, to promote the infrastructure for electric cars, and to infrastructure improvement for cycling and walking. Thank you.
Them two there. In years to come, probably by the time you're in sixth year, there's going to be a lot more electric vehicles, scooters, cars. We've nothing here. Sorry? Are you? So where do you live? Do you live locally, James?
Sorry, Marianne.
Did you to school from Ramelton? No. No. But even the footpaths, like the footpath.
Sorry, Matthew. That was an absolutely excellent presentation there. We had a question from Leo from the EPA, and he was just noting that he noticed that the levels of NO2 had increased a lot compared to 12 years ago. And I'm just wondering, has there been more people moving into the area, or is there more cars going by every day, or do you know why there would be an increase like that? Have you any idea?
Yes, the area has obviously become more industrial during the years, and more factories have opened, and there's also a very industrial area near the school.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, that was an excellent presentation. And just for the everyone that's listening here, the Globe Malta, they followed the same protocol that the students here in Ireland followed. So they all did exactly the same thing with the 3 tubes and created their maps and chose their locations outside, trying to pick a heavily trafficked area and then kind of an intermediate spot and then a more sheltered position. It was absolutely fantastic to hear that presentation, Matthew, and I think the way you're able to integrate your air quality campaign with your regular globe measurements, your atmosphere measurements, was really inspiring. So that's absolutely brilliant. Were there any other questions? I don't see any hands up. Okay, so Alenka, you have a question.
Yes, thank you, Eileen. First, I want to congratulate. It's really a detailed project, and it was really a great presentation. And I have one question. You suggested some improvements around the school and like in general. Did you share it somehow with like a local community or municipality? And if not, are you planning to do so? And if yes, did you get any feedback or any support?
Yes, we are trying to contact the local council, so even they as a locality can make an improvement in the amount of nitrogen dioxide levels.
Until now, there was the election, the general election in Malta, and half of the councillors of the local council in Santa Venera were elected in the parliament. So they will start from scratch to the new elections, and we're waiting for the local council to be formed again in more detail, and to contact again the new mayor now, because there is a new one now.
Thanks a lot. So all the best. Wish you great success with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is really interesting. I just see another question just about that traffic and whether that's actually increased. And that's really the thing that we're looking at here is the traffic related pollution. And it would be lovely to go back and do this study again, wouldn't it? And then do a traffic count, or if you had a traffic count from 12 years ago, it would be really nice. But yeah, it would be great for you to do this, in tandem with Globe Ireland next October and do another traffic count and see, can you make another correlation between NO2 and traffic. Okay, so we're just going to move on. We have Dunboyne Senior Primary School from Meath here, and they are going to present their project, their clean air project.
Sorry, Áine.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
We need to go because the school soon will close this, because we are the students went and we are waiting for us to close the school now.
Yeah, that's no problem at all. Thank you so much for joining us. And I know you've stayed late at school, Matthew and Joseph. So thank you so much for staying late and joining us here today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Our pleasure. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so we'll pass over to Dunboyne Senior Primary School. Katrina, are you ready to share the presentation?
Yeah, we're ready to go here now. Can you hear us?
Can hear you just fine.
Great. So we have a couple of our students who are going to read through our PowerPoint.
Brilliant.
This is Mr. Fadgen's 4th class student.
Dunboyne Senior Primary School is a Healthy Ireland health promoting school, an active school, a green school, a globe school, and a pollinator friendly school. We want the students in our school to start to walk, scoot, or cycle to school. We encourage them to park their bikes and scooters in the bike bay and stride. We want the people in the community to always turn off their engines when parked. We launched a No Idling poster campaign throughout Dunboyne. We want to raise awareness to the risks of health associated with air pollution. We participated in the Open Schools for Open Societies European project, Climate Ambassadors Programme, and Climate Detectives project with the European Space Agency. We invited Dunboyne Tidy Towns to collaborate with us on the project. Dunboyne Tidy Towns brought it to schools, colleges, community organisations, and businesses in Dunboyne. This poster outlines our investigation into air quality around our school. This is our school motto: breathe in, breathe out, we promote clean air to show we care. We have received very positive feedback from Globe International Virtual Science Symposium in April 2020 and Globe European Regional Meeting in October 2020. These are the main 3 goals that we are focusing on from Global's Goals for Sustainable Development. Goal 3, Good Health and Well-being. Goal 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. And Goal 13, Climate Action. We hosted a community launch day in our school. This is our class busy at work during our investigations. We are spreading awareness of air pollution locally, nationally, and internationally in collaboration with Dunboyne Tidy Towns, the Globe Programme, and Science Foundation Ireland. We explored indoor pollution and outdoor pollution. We discovered that indoor pollution is just as bad as outdoor pollution. Example, if we had a fireplace in our house, since we started our Dunboyne Clean Air campaign, there's a lot of focus on air pollution and the negative impacts of air pollution on health and well-being. It is being discussed in the Dáil regularly. Our school is beside a very busy road and traffic intersection with all members of our school community, which all members of our school community pass by every day. The health effects of air pollution are very serious. 1/3 of deaths from strokes, lung cancer, and heart disease are due to air pollution. Air pollution is closely linked to the burning of fossil fuels and climate change. We investigated how human activities are impacting on air quality. We discovered that children are more vulnerable to the effects of air pollution. We put air diffusion tubes up near a busy main road, drop-off, parking and point, and a sheltered area. The reading at the sheltered area at the back of the school is improving, which is good news. The reading at the busy roadside is also improving, so perhaps our campaign to get more people to walk, scoot, or cycle to school is having an impact. The reading at the library/car park is higher than it has been in previous measurements. Perhaps this is due to construction taking place nearby. Our reading showed us that there is a low to medium level of nitrogen dioxide in the air in and around our school grounds. We were mentioned on our local radio station LMFM. Jerry Murphy, a meteorologist, visited our school. He spoke to us about climate change.
A class in our school attended a virtual Microsoft talk. We discussed sustainable development goals, coding, and technology. A class in our school designed new technologies such as robots and drones to help clean the air. There is our school library standing displaying the work of Dunboyne for pollinators. We celebrate National Clean Air Day in our school each year. We held art and poetry competition to promote clean air in the clean air in
Go on, keep reading.
We promote walking, cycling, or scooting to school. We work closely with Dunboyne Tidy Towns. We have our no idling signs around our community. A partnership project with Irish Rail at the local train station saw the development of wildlife-friendly area, the large area of the station grounds, including signage on the #DunboyneCleanAir campaign. We planted a cotoneaster plant to absorb nitrogen dioxide. This helps reduce air pollution. We took part in the Lichen Arts Citizen Science Project with Arts Council and Trinity College. We searched for lichens around our school and church grounds. Lichens tell us how clean the air is around us, our school. Pupils use their creativity to explore lichens in their surroundings through poems and photographs. Art is a nice way of shining a light on climate change and biodiversity issues. The students' images and poems were collated into digital collages. We hope you like our display. We are the first school in Ireland to participate in the Globe Ireland International Microplastics Trial. We were assisted by Aileen Wright, Globe Ireland, and Quintin Crowley in Trinity College. We tested water samples from 3 different locations along our local river, the Tolka River. We discovered microplastics in our small samples. We presented our project virtually at the Globe, Europe and Eurasia International Meeting 2021 and received very positive feedback from all the participants. Our school participated in the NASA Globe Cloud Challenge 2022. We observed skies visibility, learned about clouds and looked for signs of pollution in the air. Keeping an eye on clouds helps NASA study for our climate. We uploaded our data to the Globe app and matched our readings with satellite readings. You will see us waving at the satellite as it passes over our school. Thank you for listening to our presentation. I hope you enjoy watching our NASA Globe Cloud Challenge with video.
Well done, Dunboyne Senior Primary. I don't know what I can say to that. I mean, it's amazing work and you're involved in so many things. And it's fantastic what you've done around engaging the local community and trying to encourage behavior change. I just can't say enough. I'm sure everyone's really impressed, but I know that you really wanted me to share a video. So I will do that right now. And let's see, it's just a 2-minute video that Dunboyne created. Well done, Dunboyne. That was really, really impressive. It's great to see you combine all these activities together and linking the cloud observations with air quality, and fantastic work. There was one question just around your plans for next year. I think everyone's almost really curious about this because you've done so much this year. Do you think you have any specific plans for next year?
Well, I suppose looking ahead to next year, we'll try and include as many pupils in the school as we possibly can, expand the numbers of children involved, and also try and spread it more in the community to see if there's any other organizations interested. And then interestingly, we're actually getting a new school building built over the course of next year, which might pose its own problems in relation to air pollution. So we'll look at some way of monitoring that perhaps during the construction phase.
Yeah, that sounds like some really good plans ahead. Well done to all the students there. Absolutely excellent presentation. And a big thank you, as always, to Katrina Lorden, who we work closely with, and always a pleasure to work with Katrina in Dunboyne. Anyone else have any questions? Feel free to just unmute yourself or write anything in the chat box. Okay, let's keep things moving. I'd like to pass things over now to Kishoga Community College. We have Matthew Butler as a teacher, and we will have two presenters from Kishoga. We have Ola and Nasma, and they'll be presenting their air quality study from Kishoga.
Okay, how's it going, Aileen? Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, there's no feedback or anything on the microphone, is it?
There is, yeah, now that I say it.
Okay, I think because we're on the iPad and projected on the board, so that might be a bit of feedback. So I'll have a go at sharing this screen now again on the iPad, so I'm not sure how well it's going to work. Okay, Aileen, do you have our PowerPoint, do you?
I do. Would you like me to share it here?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind, just because I'm projected on the board here in school, it won't let me share my screen at the same time.
No problem.
No. It won't. It's the air server, so I can do that. Okay, that looks great, Aileen. Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, off you go.
Okay, excuse me. So nice to meet everybody. My name is Matthew here. I'm the teacher, and I have my students here with me from Kishoga. As you can see on the title slide, this is just an air quality investigation that we did here. I have 3 students with me, unfortunately. One of them is absent today, so I just have to take over for that student's slides. So if you wouldn't mind heading on to the next one, Aileen, thank you very much.
Sorry, it's a bit slow. Just give me 1 second here.
No worries, no worries.
All right.
Lovely stuff. So I'm filling in for our student Nahal, who unfortunately can't be here today. So we're students of Kishoga Community College, and we are in Dublin in Ireland. Dublin obviously being the capital of Ireland, quite a built up area, and you will see that reflected in our nitrogen dioxide results in a bit. So we're just going to talk to you a bit about the air quality investigation we did, what our school is like, the results we expected to get, and then the results we did get. So if we can head to the next one, Aileen, please. Great stuff. So I'll take this one as well. Again, this would have been Nahal's slide. So yes, as you can see, we're in Dublin City. We're not quite in the city, we're in a suburb of the city, but it's still quite a built up area. It has quite a high population. And so our school, you can see there in the top right is a satellite picture of our school. Looks like it's surrounded by quite a lot of green, but actually you zoom out from that and we are, absolutely landlocked by housing estates and main roads for all of these housing estates. So we would get a lot of traffic both coming into the school, but you can see from that satellite picture, that curved road at the top of the picture is actually a main road that goes past the school and would have a lot of traffic on it, which obviously impacted our results, as you'll see in a few minutes. So the second map then is a viewpoint of where the 3 diffusion tubes were put up for the air quality survey we did back in October. And we actually have results from, Aileen, as you mentioned, the most recent one. And of course, they were put in the same position. So the red one you can see there, that's at the staff entrance to the school. So that would have the staff cars driving past it. That's unsheltered. It's quite near the main road as well. The blue one then is sheltered. near the main road, and the green one down the bottom of that image is what we call the drop-off point, where all the students get dropped off and picked up by parents and guardians in cars. And so we as a class obviously reckoned that was going to be the highest. Okay, so I'll hand you over now to my students and they will take it away for the rest of this presentation.
Our goal for this experiment was to monitor the amount of NO2 produced around our school. In order to analyze this, we needed to put up our tubes. My class, our teacher, Matthew Butler, and I put up the tubes in different locations expecting different results. Tube 1 was sheltered near the teacher's car park. Tube 2 was unsheltered next to car park entrance and close to the main road outside our school. Tube 3 was next to the drop-off point at the main entrance. We expected Tube 3 at the drop-off points to have the highest levels of NO2. This is because most parents and guardians stay idle while waiting for the child or children to leave the car. This causes more fuel to be used up, especially during colder months. After we received our results back, we had a Zoom meeting with our Maltese school to compare our results.
Once we took down the tubes, we sent them to a lab to get them analyzed. We received the results 2 weeks later, which proves to us our hypothesis of Tube 3, the drop-off point, having the most NO2 is correct. Although all of our results are below the E recommended levels, our results are still above the WHO recommended levels. This is still the case with our newest results from our spring air quality research. When we got our autumn results back, we had a second Zoom call with the Maltese school. Our class compared our results with their results. This Maltese school is in a very built up area with roads on every side, big buildings surrounding it, and many cars passing by. Although our results are better, we think this is because we are located in a less built up area with plenty of fields around us. We suspected we would get those results after we conducted a traffic count in our school. The NO2 results are recorded over a period of 3 weeks. We would presume that the results over a longer period of time would be better.
As we can see from the results, the location with the highest NO2 emission is the drop-off point, or Tube 3. This is due to the large amount of students and parents leaving their engines idle while waiting for their children to get off. Our spring results are worse than our autumn results because people were mainly working at home during autumn. However, many people are returning back to work, causing an increase of vehicle usage on the roads. Another reason is that the COVID restriction and isolation rules were tighter before, which meant a lot more people were obliged to stay home.
I think there's one more slide there, Áine, sorry.
Oh, there was, okay. Everything's moving really slowly today. There we go.
As we can see from our NO2 results, these high emissions are very dangerous for our environment. Some ways we can try and reduce our emissions is by promoting the use of bicycles or public transports. One way of advertising the use of bicycles is by talking about the amount of physical activity there is to keep us all healthy. Currently, we have a bike week going on. Instead of leaving engines on while waiting for the children to get out of the car, which also wastes fuel, we should instead turn off the whole car. Planting more trees and producing our own produce. If this is not possible, we should attempt to buy locally produced goods to reduce the emissions from exporting goods. If we don't act on these rising issues, there will be a rise in hospital patients. These patients will be consisted of lower socioeconomic groups such as homeless people, older people, including all of our grandparents, children, outdoor workers such as builders, and those with pre-existing conditions such as asthma.
And that's us finished. So Áine, thank you very much. Well done, guys.
Excellent work. Really well done, everyone. Are there any questions for Matthew and the students from Kishoga? Okay, just a question on your Globe Air Quality Campaign results. We're just wondering how the results, from this year compared to previous years. I know the teacher Matthew took over from previous teacher working on the Globe Air Quality Campaign. So you do have data, I believe, from previous years. I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at that or not.
Yes. So we are obviously Kishoga as a school itself. We've been involved in Globe for a few years. But Áine is correct there in saying myself, the teacher I took over from, the previous teacher that ran Globe. He retired last year. So yes, the results are generally fairly consistent with the last few years, around that kind of high teens to low 20s micrograms per centimeter cubed of NO2, which puts us previously, of course, in the relatively okay region, but now the EU and the WHO have adjusted their safe levels for NO2, which, even though our NO2 levels themselves haven't changed, that now means we're actually in the not so safe region, which means obviously it is a pressing matter that we need to address as a school community.
Yeah, it is interesting. The WHO have revised their guidelines just before Christmas. I think it was in September time. And they're obviously really focused on the health effects associated with air pollution. And they revised their guidelines to a much lower value on an annual basis of 10 micrograms per cubic meters. And I know that the EU will be looking at this and perhaps revising their guidelines too. But it is, I guess everyone would agree that there's no really safe level of air pollution. So anything you can do at schools around active travel and engaging the local community and raising awareness will be really, hopefully effective in trying to, challenge some of this and hopefully evoke some behavior change. So thank you to all. That was a marvelous presentation and really interesting to see that work. And just like to thank you again on your collaboration with Globe Malta. That was fantastic. Okay, so next we have Roscommon.
Cardiff.
Sorry, Irene. Now we have Roscommon Community College, and we have some students there. We have Kieran, I think, and Aaron that are going to present their air quality study from Roscommon.
Aileen, sorry, would you be able to share our presentation because it's not sharing from here, if you don't mind?
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
I'm just going to open it up here.
Brilliant, thank you.
My computer is on slow motion today of all days.
That's okay. It was working earlier and now it's gone on us.
Okay, it's opening here.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, where you go, lads.
Hi everyone, welcome to our presentation today on our air quality research.
We are 3 third-year students, Bailey, Keane and Aaron, in Class 3B in Roscommon Community College. Our school is a GRETB school under ETBI. Our school is located in Listonmoult on the edge of Roscommon town. We were very interested in completing this air quality study as part of our CSP class. We completed our CSP CBA on this topic and we really enjoyed taking part in this project.
Today myself and Keane will be taking you through our research project, which we've been working on over the past few months.
Our project links to Goal 3, Goal 12 and Goal 13. As an ETB school, we are acutely aware of the SDG links to our everyday lives thanks to our involvement with the ETBI Take 1 program. Today is also ETBI's May Day for Sustainability, so I think it's a great day for us to be making this presentation.
Our goal was to test air quality around our school and compare the results. We also did surveys to help our investigation.
What is air quality? Air quality is how we measure how clean or polluted the air is. Monitoring air quality is important because polluted air can be bad for our health and the health of the environment. In school, air quality is important because students, staff, and visitors breathe this air in daily. Poor air quality particularly affects those with underlying respiratory illnesses.
What's in the air? We learned about what's in the air in class. While air is made up of oxygen, nitrogen, it also contains smaller amounts of other gases, which pollutes the air we breathe in. This has a huge impact, especially around schools, as they are contained environments where people can have large variety of underlying conditions. We found engine emissions were one of the biggest pollutants to the air around our school.
Air quality is how we measure how clean or polluted the air is. Monitoring air quality is important because polluted air can be bad for our health and the health of the environment. In school, air quality is important because students and staff breathe this air in daily. Poor air quality particularly affects those with underlying respiratory illnesses.
Both short-term and long-term exposures to air pollutants can cause a variety of health problems. In school, a lot of students and staff suffer with asthma. Air pollution also increases the risk of respiratory infections, heart disease, stroke, and lung cancer, and other dangerous diseases. This concerned us. Poor air quality can irritate your eyes, nose, and throat, cause shortness of breath, aggravate asthma, and other respiratory conditions, and affect the heart and cardiovascular system. Breathing polluted air for long periods of time can cause more serious problems.
Air quality is protected under legislation. Under the Air Pollution Act 1987, local authorities must take whatever measures they consider necessary to prevent or limit air pollution in their area. This includes monitoring of emissions in the area and assessing compliance with the relevant legislation. In Roscommon, air pollution is measured and reported daily by the County Council. We are planning a visit in transition year to learn more about this, and it's important to the health of the community.
Our local TD and former Minister for the Environment, Dennis Naughton, asked us this question on Twitter, and we decided to do some investigation after our mocks this year. We discovered that air quality is measured daily at the County Council offices in the town. This is located slightly north of our school. According to available data, air quality in the town is at its worst at 4 p.m. It is the worst at this time because school buses and parents come to collect their kids from church car park located beside the council building. At 12 a.m. readings are the best. We think it is the best at this time because school is over, people have returned home from work and shopping, and there is not as many cars on the road at night as there is during the day. Our school's air quality is much better than the rest of our county, with an average NO2 pollution level of 6.163 compared to the county's NO2 pollution level of 28.
To complete our project, we had to come up with a plan. We set up nitrogen oxide diffusion tubes in the forest behind our school, in the teachers' car park, and outside on the road. We spoke with the principal and caretaker to ensure our chosen locations were acceptable to survey. We put up the tubes on October 11th for 4 weeks. We had to check on them daily to ensure they weren't damaged. We then sent our tubes to a lab so we could see our NO2 levels. These are similar to the tubes we use to measure our NO2 levels.
We also decided to do a survey to find out prior knowledge in our year group, as everyone knew we were measuring air quality, but nobody really thought about why we were doing it.
From our survey, we found that the majority of people in our year travel to school by car or bus. Very little walk. However, a lot do get dropped off away from school, which is helping to reduce emissions around the school. The majority felt that air quality would be worse in the car park and the road. The buses park in our car park and school pickup occurs on the road, so we were interested to see these results also. We also conducted a traffic survey to see how many vehicles leave their engines on idle during school pickup over 3 consecutive Fridays.
These are the results from our 4-week testing period in our 3 chosen locations. After receiving the lab results, we compared the survey results to the lab results. We were happy with what we found. All class groups thought that the car park would have the worst air quality, when in fact it was the road with an NO2 pollution level of 8.13, which is almost double the car park. All class groups said that the forest had the best air quality, which has an NO2 pollution level of 5.18. We were shocked to find out that the forest had an NO2 pollution level of 5.18, as we think this is very high for a forest. We reflected on this and think this might be due to the train line running behind the forest.
We are active in the Green Schools program. This year, we are working towards our 9th green flag, global citizenship travel. Our research project links to the work ongoing in the school over the past 2 years under the travel theme. We interviewed the Green Schools coordinator, Ms. Egan, and she informed us about the importance of air quality and the history of travel in Roscommon. She informed us of how the modes of transport in Roscommon have changed over the past few years, and as a result, the quality of air in Roscommon has disimproved over the years.
Before carrying out our investigation, we did not know a lot about air quality. We conducted a survey amongst our 3rd year focus group to see the prior knowledge within our year group. Prior knowledge on air quality in this group stemmed largely from science class. We were happy to discover that the air quality around our school is quite good compared to other locations around Ireland. Going forward, we would like to do an action project to further improve air quality around our school.
We plan to do an action project in TY to further improve air quality around RCC. During our research, we surveyed traffic around our school weekly. We found that a number of vehicles leave their engines running during school pickup. This is adding to air pollution around our school. We would like to designate specific areas around our school as no idling zones and complete an action project that encourages parents to switch off their engines during school pickup times. We will do this during our environmental studies module and in association with the Schools Green Schools program and Worldwide Global Schools program. We hope that we would see an improvement in our result if we were to repeat this air quality study following our action plan. Thanks so much everyone for listening.
That was really well done, absolutely excellent work. And I love the way that you've taken it from, collecting the scientific data, being curious and asking questions, and then thinking about what kind of actions you can take. And I'm delighted that you're going to go forward with then some of these actions. I was also really interested to see that forest result too. And I think it's great that you're able to take a closer look at that and then think about the train line and then perhaps the direction of prevailing wind with respect to that train line. So that'll be something to look into. Okay, so does anyone have any questions? I don't see any in the chat box. If anyone would like to add anything, I think you're getting a lot of praise and it'd be great to get your weather station.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Yeah. And hopefully then you can engage more with Globe in the next year, and you're welcome to take part in the air quality campaign again if you'd like to repeat those measurements.
Brilliant. Thanks so much. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Aileen, just a quick comment or question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, yeah, just back up what Aileen said there. Yeah, it's great to see schools involved outside a bigger city. So a big thanks. It's something that the EPA loves seeing, and we were delighted, as Andy alluded to earlier on, that this year we had schools from every county in Ireland. So great work, folks. Just on your presentation, really interesting about, besides the research side of things and data, it was interesting also to hear that you've done the survey. That's something that we look at as well, especially if you want to raise awareness and educate as well. So maybe you can think about going forward and different angles to that. So great work, folks, and hopefully we see you involved in years to come.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Great.
Thanks, Leo. I just see one more question in the chat box, and it's around the trains. Do you know how frequent those trains are? Because that might be an interesting thing to look at.
Yeah, we were writing down all day different angles they can look at. They're going to be very busy in TY. But yeah, no, we'll definitely look at that, and we'll have more information with our weather station as well when that comes. So we'll be flat out for the year.
I know, exactly. No, it'd be great to tie it in with the weather station. You can record the wind directions and rainfall and all sorts of things and try and link it in with your air quality results. So well done to the students of Roscommon Community College. Absolutely fantastic work.
Thanks,
okay, no problem. So our last school today is Rockford Manor. They're located in Dublin. Tanya Kelly is the teacher, and we have, I think it's 3 students presenting today: Zoe, Valentina, and Jodie.
Hello. Hi. Hi there, everybody. Just want to say we're so impressed by all of the students today and all of the amazing work. We're getting like fantastic ideas, so well done. And just to say, Jodie couldn't make it today, so we have Zoe and Valentina.
Hello everybody, my name is Zoe. And I'm Valentina. And this is our citizen science project at Rockford Manor, the Air Quality Monitor campaign in the months of autumn 2021 and the months of spring 2022. So we're going to be giving you an introduction about our project, talking about our school, the aim of our research, nitrogen dioxide, research methods, traffic and weather data, the results we got, conclusion, and future work. In autumn 2021 and spring 2022, TY Citizen Science Project did research for Globe Ireland and Tashka and the EPA. We placed 3 diffusion tubes in 3 different locations around the school to measure nitrogen dioxide concentrations. The World Health Organization have created the nitrogen dioxide scale for good health, And we compared our results to this nitrogen dioxide scale and to the limits set by the WHO and the EPA for good health.
What is Rockford Manor? Rockford Manor is a presentation secondary school located on Stratford Road, Blackrock, County Dublin, and the school is situated next to a main road and a busy roundabout. The school is in a suburban area which has mixed commercial and residential use.
The aim of the project was to find out what is nitrogen dioxide, how much NO2 is there in different areas of our outdoor school environment, is our school's air quality within the recommended level of healthy NO2 exposure, and do weather and traffic conditions affect our air quality.
So what is nitrogen dioxide? It is a red-brown pollutant gas that is produced during combustion of fuels in cars, buses, and truck engines. Elevated levels of NO2 can lead to damage to the human respiratory tract and an increase in asthma, and NO2 can react with other chemicals in the air to form ozone and particulate matter, which are also harmful.
So we placed 3 diffusion tubes at different locations to measure the NO2 levels in the air around our school grounds. Tube 1 was in the flagpole at the front of our school on the main road. Tube 2 was in the basketball court close to the roundabout, and Tube 3 was behind the school hall, green space sheltered from traffic. The tubes were put up for 4 weeks in autumn 21 and 4 weeks in spring 22, and then we sent them to the laboratory for analysis.
During this time, we recorded the daily local weather conditions, and we think wind speed and direction may have an effect on the concentrations of nitrogen dioxide lingering around the school. We also conducted traffic surveys on the roundabout and the 2 roads adjacent to our school to gain knowledge on the levels of traffic in our area.
So the results we got were Tube 1 showed the highest NO2 concentration. This location had the most exposure to traffic. Tube 2 showed slightly less concentrations of NO2, perhaps as the basketball court is a little farther from the road and elevated. And Tube 3 contained the least NO2 as our green open space is sheltered from traffic. Our spring results showed higher concentrations of NO2 for all locations than autumn concentrations. These increases could be due to human activity and the traffic coinciding with the relaxation of COVID restrictions and an increase in people commuting to work.
Our traffic survey results, there's quite a lot of traffic passing our school. The levels of traffic vary greatly over...
Sorry, we'll just pause for a moment.
The levels of traffic vary greatly over a 24-hour period, with the greatest amounts as might be expected during morning and evening rush hours. The graph shows sample traffic levels during school hours. As our traffic surveys are carried out during school hours, we acknowledge that they provide a limited measure to traffic on our roads, and in order to obtain a more accurate and comprehensive measure of traffic around Rockford Manor, we would like to extend our survey to morning and evening rush hours in the future.
The comparison of data. Our data indicated an increase in the levels of NO2 from autumn 21 to spring 22. An EPA monitoring station close to our school indicates the same trend. The daily fluctuations of NO2 due to varying traffic levels are also evident from the EPA data, as you can see below.
Wind direction and speed. Wind direction and speed data collected during the monitoring period showed that most of the winds came from southerly and westerly directions last autumn, or mostly from the west during the spring. The winds this spring were much slacker, which is lower wind speeds, than winds during our autumn campaign, and these latter spring winds may lead to higher pollutant levels due to a reduction in dispersion.
Our results indicated that the air quality around Rockford Manor was in the low-medium category last autumn. This is considered as safe for our health according to the EU annual standards, but exceeds the limits set by the WHO. 2 of our diffusion tubes recorded levels of NO2 in the medium category this spring. This means that the NO2 levels may be too high and the action is required. If they keep increasing in the area due to exhaust fumes and human activity around the school, it could have serious long-term effect on our respiratory health.
For our future work, we would like to continue to conduct analysis on the air quality and the levels of NO2 around the school. We would also like to extend our traffic survey, and we feel that in the future the levels of air pollutants may be subject to change, and recording this is vital to knowing more about why the air quality changes over time.
And lastly, we would like to say thank you and acknowledge those who have organized this project and assisted us with our research. Many thanks to Antarctica Globe Ireland and the EPA for this opportunity. We have enjoyed learning about our air quality and had lots of fun being citizen scientists. Thank you.
Another excellent presentation. I love the way you've tied it in with your atmosphere measurements around the wind direction. That was brilliant. And the way you looked at the local EPA monitoring station. That's a really valuable addition to your project. And the fact that you've done repeated measurements, it's great that you can pull out trends and you can, you know, identify maybe changes in traffic and how they influence the level of pollution in your environment. Does anyone have any questions for the students from Rockford Manor? I see there's lots of appreciation for your talk in the chat box. If there's any specific questions there. Yeah, everyone agrees that you did a really good job. In the interest of time, we'll just keep moving because we're a couple of minutes over on our schedule. I am going to pass things over to Maya right now, and Maya is going to introduce the first of our invited speakers.
Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to hear all these great presentations. It's absolutely delightful to see all the actions that you guys are taking to reduce NO2 pollution around schools. And the last two speakers we have today are really going to give us some inspiration and ideas for how we can keep working to reduce NO2 pollution and improve air quality. So we have Áine O'Loughlin from Green Schools Travel coming up now, who's going to tell us a little bit more about how to promote active travel and improve air quality at schools. So Áine, I'm going to go ahead and leave it over to you now.
Thanks, Maya. Hi, everybody. I just want to commend the students on the fantastic work that they have achieved over the last while. It's really inspirational. And as you say, I was expecting it to be just results, but it's actually combined with loads of actions as well, which is really great to see. I'm a travel officer based here in the west of Ireland. I work with the Green Schools Travel Programme, and my presentation is really about how to improve air quality by promoting active travel and sustainable travel in your school. So the aim of the Green Schools Travel Programme is to encourage not just students, but the whole school community to walk, cycle, scoot, park and stride, or carpool, or take public transport, whatever it is, anything but take the car all the way to the school gate. And the Green Schools Travel Programme is one of 5 original Green School themes. The themes are sequential. They take a minimum of 2 years to achieve. And once schools have completed all 5, they move on to global citizenship themes. And here they revisit the first 5 themes, but with the added element of, I suppose, exploring how their actions can have positive or negative effects globally. Bit of background, Green Schools Travel has been going on for 15 years. It was piloted originally in 2005. 60% of all schools nationwide have taken part. It's funded by the Department of Transport and supported by the NTA. And we now have greater investment through the new Safe Routes to School programme. So I suppose the benefits of sustainable travel are multifaceted. There are health benefits, social benefits, increased safety, but I suppose really less cars means less CO2 emissions and increased air pollution, or improvement in air pollution, or sorry, improvement in air quality even. The Green Schools theme is different to all the other Green Schools. The travel one is different to all the other themes because we have travel officers all over Ireland on the ground working with schools, supporting them through the programme. You might be familiar with some of our popular initiatives. And we have Cycle on Wednesday, Walk on Wednesday, and Scoot on Wednesday, How, Wow, and Sow. Green Schools Travel provides funding, part funding for cycle training in both primary and secondary schools. We conduct bike maintenance workshops. We have fully funded cycle parking for schools, both at primary and second level. We have an And She Cycles campaign, and this is in response to research we conducted, which shows that just 1 in 250 teenage girls cycle to school, which is a lot less than boys. And so we have a new ambassador program whereby we train and support these student leaders to empower teenage girls in their own schools to cycle to school. So we provide training and we provide network gatherings for these students. It's a recent photograph of the ambassadors from this year receiving their awards in Dublin. So group cycles are an excellent way to increase cycling in schools. It provides an opportunity for a positive cycling experience. So we have Bike Week coming up next week, so there'll be lots of group cycles happening around the country. Mapping is a really useful exercise to conduct in schools. It can, I suppose, identify opportunities for both carpooling and for cycle buses. In this school, students recorded, or I suppose calculated the time it would take from different areas to cycle to their school. And this is very useful because sometimes there's a perception that cycle journeys might take longer than they actually do. It's important to inject some fun into it all. So we have some action days here at schools. The top photograph, those girls are taking part in a pedometer challenge. And down below, these guys have decorated their shoes as part of a Funky Feet Day. So it's about awareness raising and having fun as well. This is an action day in another school. The Green Schools Committee painted stripes on the children or the students' faces to represent the ways that they travel to school. They had a car-free day, and then they used that free yard for some fun activities such as a treasure hunt. We have lots of resources in the Green Schools travel program as well. We have air quality toolkits, and in that are worksheets and lessons on the sources and the impacts of air quality. It's a really good toolkit, the No Idling Toolkit. And in it is a survey that students can use at collection time to ascertain how many cars are idling. In it also is a pledge that parents and bus drivers can sign to promise not to idle at the school gates. And there are some information tips and colouring sheets as well that can be used as part of a no idling campaign. We run Clean Air Week in November of each year. So last year was, we had a hashtag Beat Air Pollution, and the previous year was a poetry competition. So it's a really good opportunity to run a no idling campaign and just to promote active travel during that week. Climate Action Week takes place in October every year. That's another opportunity to ask students to pledge to make a special effort to travel sustainably during that week. We also have a cycle bus network. So this is where we gather together our volunteers from cycle buses all over Ireland. And it's an opportunity, I suppose, for them to share their experiences with each other. And then we have events throughout the year. So in February, we have the Big Travel Challenge. This is where students will choose one mode of transport to focus in on over a course of 14 days. Then we have Skip School Week in March, which is really popular in primary schools. National Bike Week is in May this year, which is fantastic because it's the first year the secondary schools can get involved. Prior, pre-COVID, I guess it was in June, so they were excluded. And this year, National Walk School Week will take place in September. So it's a good opportunity to kickstart active travel for the new school year. And then the Safe Routes to School program is a new program that was developed in the last 18 months. It's kind of an offshoot program, and there's greater investment behind it in terms of infrastructure outside schools. So it's about creating safe spaces outside the schools, better access, improved facilities for walking and cycling, both at the front of school and along the routes to school. That's it. I hope I've given you some ideas about how you might increase active travel in your school and thereby improving air quality. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, Áine. That was really interesting. It's great to see so many good initiatives going on and how to increase active travel. And I know that a lot of the schools have already done a lot of work on this, and there's a lot more that they can get engaged with. Out in the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and move along to our next speaker. If you do have any questions for Áine, go ahead and put them into the chat and she'll be able to answer them there as well. So without further ado, we have Natalie Gravett, who we're really fortunate to have speaking with us today. She's a transport planner and modeler with the sustainability consulting agency ARUP. And she has done a lot of really interesting work with local authorities and governments on how to design cities that increase or lower air pollution. So Natalie, go ahead and let us know if you have any questions for Natalie. You can put them in the chat or just raise your hand after the presentation.
Oh, thanks, Maya. You see my slides okay? Or is it in presentation mode?
It looks like it's not in presentation mode yet. We can see the.
Oh, okay. Is that all right? Can I just go from there?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's been great hearing about what you're all doing in your schools. So as Maya said, I'm a transport planner, and what I really do is work with towns and cities to improve air quality. It's all well and good schools doing the great work, but when you've got lots of cars and traffic circulating, we really need to improve more widely air quality. So I've got a few case studies today from all across Europe. So this is a European theme going on. Just a quick one here is why transport is so important. I'm sure you've covered this a lot in your studies to date, but this is sort of the latest trends in the air quality. And as you can see, sort of the dark blue, the power stations, we've really improved and reduced emissions, but transport in the purple, that's quite a stubborn one. We haven't been able to reduce that as quickly, which means that anything we can sort of do to reduce idling and switch trips to walking and cycling and scooting is really, really important. So sort of three ways that we look at it for improving air quality is sort of avoid, shift and improve. So the best thing we can do is avoid the need to travel and make short trips. So designing our neighborhoods to have lots of schools, hospitals, doctor surgeries, everything in a short distance, so you don't need to travel far. Shifting, so when you do need to make a journey outside of your town, to make sure that you can use walking, cycling, buses and trains rather than cars. And for those trips that you do make by cars, can we make them by more efficient cars? Can we car share with other people? Or can we use electric vehicles? So a little case study for the avoid. So this is in Barcelona in Spain. So they've sort of created their town, their city in a sort of grid-like pattern. You can see the little picture here. So what they're doing is they're really just shifting the traffic to the outskirts of the city. And they're making these sort of plazas where you have local shops and local squares, schools. So there's lots of opportunity for walking and cycling because the distances are smaller. And because of this, they've seen a 25% reduction in NO2. And then we also get those extra benefits of less noise, more health benefits from walking and cycling. They've also planted a lot of trees. Now they have more space because they don't have cars everywhere. So you can have some nice greening and biodiversity benefits, which I know a lot of you spoke about earlier today. Then this one is from Copenhagen in Denmark, which is where Maya and I actually met. And then so what they're doing here is they're encouraging people to shift to cycling. So they've been building lots and lots of cycle networks all across the city, so that anywhere someone could go by car before, they now can go by bike. So 9 out of 10 people now in Copenhagen own a bicycle, and a lot of these people were previously driving these trips. And in many instances in parts of the city, it's actually faster to go by bike than by car because they're taking away the traffic lights and making it really nice and smooth for people to cycle around the city. And now they're looking at deliveries by bikes, what we call e-cargo bikes, so with a nice big basket on the front to try and reduce the amount of vans. And then my last one is the sort of improve. So about actually any of the car trips, making them as clean as possible. So this is from Paris in France. So they have this sort of sticker system on their vehicles. So you get a number for depending how clean or dirty your car is. So the older and more polluting vehicles can't enter the city centre. And really trying to focus on that school drop-off time and those peak periods, trying to prevent the most polluting vehicles from idling and from coming into the city centre. And they've actually introduced fines, so you can get charged if you're driving a really polluting vehicle in the city centre. So these are just a few ways, and it's not one or the other. And I think some of your schools have found that it's usually a combination of reducing idling, encouraging walking and cycling to school, and a lot of these things working together to improve air quality as quickly as possible. But yeah, part of my job is helping schools work with city and sort of local councils. So I think definitely reach out to your local councils and local government and sort of encourage them to push forward on improving air quality in your local area, not just around the schools. So yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalie. It's great to have you here. Those are some really fantastic examples of what's going on around Europe right now. Again, if you have any questions for Natalie, you can go ahead and put them in the chat box. It's just been fantastic to get all these great stories about how to reduce air pollution. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Áine now as we wrap up this great day.
Thanks, Maya. That's fantastic. Really interesting presentation. And I love looking at this from all the different angles, from the grassroots, from the students engaging with citizen science and becoming more knowledgeable and educating people and acting. And then from this other perspective, at a kind of a higher level, looking at cities and how we can improve the flow of traffic and therefore influence air quality. So absolutely fantastic. I am really pleased at the moment to be able to pass things over to Tony Murphy. He is the Globe Director. He's located in Boulder, Colorado. So big thanks to him for joining us so early in the day. Tony, if you'd like to say a few words, we'd be delighted to hear from you.
Sure, great. Well, thanks to Globe Ireland for inviting me to the event. And it's always a great thing to appear here because I grew up in Killarney, and so it's wonderful to be part of Globe Ireland and always to see the great work that students and teachers are doing. So first of all, thank you to the students and teachers for sharing their wonderful work. And I did manage to see some of the projects, and it's great to see those and the research that people are doing, and also that connection to the action steps that people are taking. And that's very, very important in all of this. And I'd also like to thank Ramona from Malta for their great collaboration that's been happening with Globe Ireland and the coming together around an important issue like this. This is the way that we solve international difficulties and challenges that we have. And it's great to see students starting so early in collaborations like this. And also the collaboration in this campaign with Globe France and with CNES there, the space agency. And there's also some new connections coming with NASA through the work of Margaret Pippin at Langley. And so it's wonderful to see this constellation, as it were, of schools and countries coming together under the air quality piece. And I'd like to thank Áine and all of the folks at Globe Ireland for their organizing with the teachers to make this happen and to make this possible, even as we hopefully get to the end of the pandemic and start looking at returning to our new normal, I guess, as a result of that. And then, of course, always to Ireland EPA, who were great supporters a number of years ago when we had the Global Learning Expedition in Ireland, and have continued that great support. And thank you to Laura Burke for that support and that continued support to campaigns like this in Ireland, and really fostering that development around citizen science and science learning in general, and also connections across Europe as part of the air quality campaigns that are happening within the various EPAs around Europe. So thank you for that support, Laura, and we hope to see great things coming from the schools as the campaign continues. And it's wonderful to see as well that there was a project submitted to the International Virtual Science Symposium, which was also, I believe, highlighting the collaboration between Malta and Ireland. And so with that, this is really what the program is all about, getting students, teachers, citizens working together, understanding their environment, and then hopefully, if there are some issues in that environment, to try to resolve them in a way that is beneficial to everybody. So thank you for that, and we hope to see you again next year, and that the campaigns will continue. So thank you for all of your work.
Thank you, Tony. It was great to hear from you, and thank you for all your kind words and support too. This meeting is now coming to a close. I'd like to thank everyone that joined us today, particularly the presenters. We'd love to see you all involved in future air quality campaigns. Keep up the good work, and hopefully speak to you all soon. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, folks. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Cheerio. Thanks for today's call.